Welcome to the Owen Stevens Show. Today, we're going to be going over the news of the day. I think probably with the next few podcasts that we do, it'll be news of the day focused. There's a lot coming out of Minneapolis. It's been a while since I've done a show. My rule of thumb here for doing these shows is that I will do them so long as I have something important that I feel like I want to say. And that's not always. I think one of the major problems with podcasting in general, especially, when you're sort of just doing it independently, is that you feel like you always have to have something to say because that's, I mean, the nature of the business. It's the nature of what you're doing. But for me, I think that tends to dull down and kind of cheapen everything I say because I don't really have, an educated opinion or opinion that I feel really matters on every single topic, especially because of how flooded podcasting is in general. So when I do have a show, it's because I just care about it a lot. That's why I do these. I do these because I care about it. And I think that's the only reason that you should really, release your opinion publicly is if you really care about what you're talking about. And, I'm not saying that I have anything particularly interesting to say about any of this. I'm just saying, it's what I care about most. And so that's why I'm going to do it. That's why I'll always do shows because I'm passionate about it and because usually these are things I'm ranting, just living my every single day life. And so you guys can listen to my rants here. Let me try to play this clip right here from Don Lemon. Um, Don Lemon was arrested, which is amazing. I love it. Here's Don Lemon breaking into a church.
Jesus Christ. I want to be very respectful.
Yeah, that is like the grossest thing ever. Did you see how Don kind of like smugly, don't push me, and then gets in his face really smugly? That's called being gay and black in America in 2026 because you have been treated like such a victim from the mainstream media and basically everybody else in your life for so long that you actually think that you're in a class above everybody else. That's what these people think. That's how they act. That's how they view themselves. If they have the right skin color, if they have the right sexual orientation, they view themselves as above you, right? That's why white guys, that's why we're all mad. Like that's why we're pretty irritated at what's going on because our nation, our country that we live in, okay, is being torn apart from the inside by a corrupt media, and it seems some weird, far distant globalist influence that seeks to divide us on the grounds of race and sex and sexual orientations and all those sorts of things. And hey, guess what? It's working. It's working. And not to say that we should take that bait. We shouldn't take that bait. Obviously, we want to love like Jesus loves. But I mean, the truth of the matter is, we've got to say it clearly. You can't act like this. You can't break into churches. Would they have done that in a mosque? Would Don Lemon have broken into a mosque? No. And this is exactly what I think the game is. It's to outrage Christians, outrage white Christians in particular, by creating such obvious double standards that it leads to a civil war. It leads to a race war. It leads to a conflict because of the unfair, unjust laws that they're putting in place. I think it's being done on purpose. I mean, what other explanation could you possibly have for the things that are happening in the UK right now? What explanation could you possibly have for, the mosques being risen in the UK and Christians basically being arrested for, posting their points of view? There was a Jesus parade in the UK that was just canceled because the government is siding with the Muslims over the Christians, I think on purpose to make white Christians mad, to create strife. I mean, the West has it so good. If we got out of our own way and we weren't bogged down with these petty squabbles between ourselves, racial squabbles, sexual squabbles, these things are so unimportant. It's amazing. I've never seen people get more up in arms about more meaningless trash in my entire life. Your skin color is utterly meaningless. It means nothing. It has no meaning at all. It doesn't affect you in life. And at all, it doesn't. Your skin color is it's like your hair color, your eye color. You shouldn't think about it that much. I don't think about me being white very much, but the Democratic Party, the media, has trained large segments of the population, particularly black people, to care only about that. They see the world through that racial lens. That's unfortunate. And we're heading into a time where, I'm sorry to say, but it's becoming so prevalent. Don Lemon thinks he has the right to break into a Christian church, basically assault people in there, stop them from worshiping, and take the moral high ground while doing it. Because he's been told by the media that he's a victim. He's been told all his life he's a victim because of the color of his skin and the fact that he's gay. His sexual orientation is different. So because of those factors, he thinks he's got the right to do all of those things. So he was arrested. Praise the Lord. A lot of people, this happened in Minneapolis. Minneapolis is this is what I wanted to really talk about today. Minneapolis is trashed. The whole place. It is such a bad place to be. I went to Minneapolis a few years ago to do activism for pro-life causes. I remember it being a very unsafe city. We had very negative interactions with people on the street as we were doing pro-life activism. And it's only gotten worse. This is a repeat of what 2020 was, in I think a large respect. I mean, let's not forget where George Floyd was murdered. So this city never recovered. This city really never recovered from George Floyd. I don't think that state ever really recovered from the riots. I don't think it ever recovered. I think it's worse. I think in a lot of ways it's worse than Portland. I think in a lot of ways it's worse than some places in California. I think it's a hotbed of anti-white, anti-Trump, anti-America crap and activism in that whole state. Obviously, everything coming out with the fraud. Get every single Somalian out. If you can get them out, get them out. If they're not a citizen, get them out. That's what you have to do. You have to investigate Ilhan Omar and get her out. We don't need Muslims running the country. We don't. It's fundamentally against everything we believe in as a country. Okay, and we need to do our best to get Muslims out of positions of leadership. Okay, they shouldn't have positions of leadership in the country. And I can't even imagine the fraud and the fakery behind even electing someone like that in the first place within our state. I'm not even going to really get into that. I think I think this fraud thing is way worse than we'll ever know. I don't think we'll actually ever know the how far it actually went because of how it's being covered up. I think we'll probably uncover just the tip of the iceberg and then arrest, a few select people here and there. But I think largely it was successful. The Somalis came in and they were successful pirates. They took money from the taxpayers, and I don't think any of that money is coming back. I think, it's awful what's happened. It's really awful what's happened. But we have to see the ringleaders rounded up and put in prison, or at the very least deported. And I think Ilhan Omar obviously is one of those people. Do I have the proof? Not yet, but that's what they're looking into, and you can just tell by looking at her, listening to her. If you look at the facts and her major increase in net worth, something is going on there. Something is obviously weird. But that's not really what we want to talk about on the show today. I want to talk about illegal immigration. This is like number one most important thing in the country right now, because Trump's first year is completely wrapped around the subject of illegal immigration, and it should be. It's the number one problem in the country. Trump addressed it in 2016. What he addressed was really important, and I think since 2016, it's only uncovered more of the bleak truth, which is that the Democratic Party, the Democrats, the blue side, they are absolutely done and irrelevant without illegal immigrant votes. That's what they're betting on. They are betting on the illegal vote. That's what they're betting on. Why would a state like California ban voter ID? Why would a state like California do that? To maximize fraud. The Democratic Party has embraced fraud. They've embraced fraud. That's how they want to win. That's their playbook. They did it in 2020. They stole the election in 2020. We all know that. That's been proven at this point. And now we're seeing that actually come out in the mainstream media. They're proving it in real time here, as Trump does legitimate investigations into people. And listen, I'm sorry to say as a Trump voter, but if we get to the bottom of this and we find the people that were really responsible for what happened in 2020 and they're not arrested and they're not taken down, then I don't care. Then it's a bunch of bullcrap anyway. You can't do these investigations and not arrest people and not hold the people accountable, because what the heck was the point of it? We already know the election was stolen. We want to see skulls cracked. We want to see people go to prison. That's what we want to see. And if it doesn't happen, then it's a joke, and you shouldn't even put it in the media anyways that you're doing the investigation. Do the investigation, but let there be fruit. Let there be people that actually go to prison. Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, for example, with the House subpoenaing them or whatever, holding them in contempt. If they don't go to jail, it doesn't matter. If they just have to pay a fine, it doesn't matter at all. We want to see them go to jail. We want to see the handcuffs on them. We want them humiliated. That's the point. That's what we want to see. And these people, they've got to get it straight. When you promise everything, when you promise the whole piggy bank, but you only deliver on a couple of pennies, and we never get to see the people actually arrested, it's a huge and major letdown. Yes, we are very grateful you're looking into it, but we all knew this already. The American people aren't stupid. We knew that there was obvious fraud. We knew the 2020 election was stolen. We knew that Hillary Clinton was crooked and belonged in prison. What we want to see is our knowledge actually come to fruition in the form of her getting arrested, in the form of all these other things, the 2020 election and everybody involved getting completely dismantled. And I think probably behind the scenes, some of that's happening, but we want to see it happen in the public. We want those people humiliated. We want the other side completely crushed. We want everybody that argued for the 2020 election being legitimate to be eating their words. We want every single person that voted for Hillary Clinton to be completely embarrassed the next day. That's what we want. We want to see it happen. We want to see the truth come out about Jeffrey Epstein. It's like, that's what we want to see. We want to see the things you promised, because you didn't just promise an investigation into it. What you really promised, what the Trump administration really promised, was delivering on what we all hoped for, which was government accountability and draining the swamp. Delivering on what we hope for, which are the evil people arrested, justice being done and accomplished. An investigation is not justice. Justice is when the people that have done the crooked and evil things pay for it. That's justice. That's what we want to see. And if you just investigate everything without justice, that doesn't matter. I don't care about the investigation. I don't care about what you promised. It's a huge and major letdown, and we should call it out when it happens. So that's to the Trump administration. Not happy with a lot of the things, because you can't just promise all these things and then never deliver. You've got to actually deliver on those promises. And I know it sounds radical to arrest, people on the other side, but hey, it's objectively true that the Democratic Party is full of evil people. I'm sure the Republican Party is too. But it's objectively true that the people that ran the Democratic Party they're probably currently committing fraud. Definitely committed fraud in the 2020 election, and are probably behind some of the most sinister conspiracy theories that we all know and have believed for a very, very long time. So Trump administration, hear me on this. Arrest these people. Actually take the steps that we all want to see you take. Let the courts challenge it. Let the courts battle it. You've got 3 years left. That's all you've got. You've got to make them count. You have to punch these people so hard they never get back up. It has to be a KO, a knockout blow. You have to change the census. You have to arrest illegal immigrants with violence like you're doing. Unfortunately, that's what you have to do. The law, this is what I wanted to say basically on the show. This is what the show's about. The law is the law because there are consequences when you break it. The law is only the law if it is enforced. The only way to enforce a law is with violence. That's the only way to enforce it, really. We all know that. But no one really wants to say that, because most people are law abiding. Do you know why? Because we want to escape violence. We don't want violence to happen. When I'm pulled over on the side of the road, I don't want to just not listen to the police officer because I'm afraid I'm going to get tased. I'm not going to step out of my car and and run around my car in circles and be a crazy person because I don't want to get tased. I want to follow the officer's instructions. Okay? I want to simply follow the instructions. This goes with any form of law enforcement. If I've broken the law, I'm going to be arrested. If I resist arrest, the officers are going to get as violent as they need to be to the point of killing me in order to enforce the law. That's how that works. You don't get to just escape law enforcement if you resist arrest. If you resist, you don't get to escape the consequence. It's going to happen to you. They're going to get violent. That's the point. And we should all support that. That's why they give officers guns. That's why they give them tasers. You ever wonder why there are lethal weapons on police officers? It's because at the end of the day, the only way to enforce laws is with a gun pointed at you. That's the only way. That's the only way. Okay? Nothing else. There's no other way. I guess you can fine people But for these types of laws, these types of situations, especially with illegal immigrants, draining our resources in the country illegally, not respecting the nation, not respecting our country at all, and doing it only for personal gain in every single situation, then I understand you might be escaping a bad situation. That's not our problem. You can't just break our laws and do it. So for us, get the heck out. That's what we all believe. That's what we voted for. That's what we voted for. Get them out. Do it with maximum prejudice. Get them out. Get them out. Not just the criminals. Get everyone out. All the illegals. I don't care if they're a criminal or not. If they're here illegally, they are a criminal. Every single person that is here illegally is a criminal. That doesn't make any sense when they say, oh, we're just arresting the criminals. If you're just arresting the criminals, then you're arresting every single illegal immigrant, because by nature, by default, an illegal immigrant is a criminal. They're breaking the law being here. They know it. We know it. And, I'm not even blaming them all the way, because there was a massive incentive structure built from the Biden administration, probably even into the Obama administration, to allow illegal immigration, to incentivize it, to bring illegals here. They did it on purpose. So I don't fully blame, I really don't fully blame the illegal immigrants. A lot of them, some are completely to blame. They're to blame. All of them is at some level, because they're not respecting the nation. They still know they're breaking the law. And in their heart of hearts, they know that there was a crooked administration. They probably had conversations in Mexico. Can you believe what Joe Biden is doing? He's letting anybody in whenever they want. They're destroying the country. Let's take this opportunity. Like, I guarantee you that's what happened. Let's take the opportunity to get one over on the Americans. They're stupid right now. That's what everybody knows. Everybody in Latin America knew that. That's why they came. And that's why they immediately stopped coming when Trump became the president, because they knew, oh, a smart guy who actually loves the country, who loves the nation, who wants to protect and defend the country and uphold his presidential responsibility is in the seat. We can't come now. They're not going to let us in now. They were happy to come during Biden. They knew they'd be let in. So it's not really their fault in that respect, because we had such a crooked and evil and anti-America regime for so long, and it let in so many illegals off the cuff. But now we've elected Donald Trump to basically do one thing we all wanted. We all wanted it. If you voted for Trump, it's because you wanted it. It was since 2016, the first time when you voted for Trump, it's because you wanted it. You wanted the wall. We still want the wall. Please deliver. And we want the illegals gone. We want the illegals gone more it's not just about jobs. It's not just about we want our jobs back. That's not really it. It's that we're a nation of laws. They're breaking the law. What are you going to do about it? I'm accountable to the law. If I break the law and do illegal things, I'm accountable. Why the heck is that illegal immigrant over there just here breaking the law, and he can do whatever he wants, drain our resources? He's living off of the taxpayers, living off of Medicaid, living off of social welfare programs. That's not fair. That's not fair. He's getting assistance from the Democratic Party, and guess what? You know what? He's going to vote for a side that I don't agree with. He's going to vote for the Democratic Party that's against my values. He didn't grow up here. He's not from here. He has no ID, but they're using him for a cheap vote to get one over on the American citizens that actually care about the country and have lived here their entire lives and pay into the system with their taxpayer money their entire lives. That's bullcrap, and that's got to stop. That's bullcrap. Why wouldn't we want them out? We want every single illegal out, not just the rapists and the gang members and the murderers and the pedophiles and the fraudsters. Every single one who is an illegal immigrant, get out. I'm talking mothers. I'm talking children. I'm talking every single illegal immigrant. Get them out. They are a criminal. The only way we can have respectable laws is if we defend the law. The only way that we can have an immigration system is if it's honored and respected by the world. How can our immigration system be honored and respected by the world if we it's a mother. It's a mother. Let her in. Let her in. I know she's an illegal, but don't you feel bad? I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. That's a criminal mother. She's in the country as a criminal now. And she knows it. And you don't just get to siphon off what you want from us. That's not how that works. I'm sorry, but Your family is not our responsibility, okay? American families are our responsibility. Our government should care about American families. Its responsibility is not Mexican, El Salvador, whatever Latin American country. That's not our that's not our responsibility. Get them all out. And we have not done enough because we've been completely, I don't even know, nullified, I think we've been beaten in the court of public opinion over this issue because so many people don't want to see people arrested and taken back to Mexico. It's kind of a sad thing to see. It is sad. It is sad to see. It's sad to see when illegal immigrants are arrested and they're trying to escape a country they hate, that they don't want to go back to, that they might be unsafe in. That's sad. Of course it is, but it's necessary. Enforcing the law is ugly. It doesn't always look good, but it's absolutely necessary if you want to have a country, if you want a country to have integrity. That's what matters most. So we've got to come up with a better way to do mass illegal deportation. We have to come up with a better way. I'm talking ICE hiring as many people, like hundreds of thousands of more agents. Dump $1 billion into it. Dump as much money as you possibly can into ICE. Make them so effective that it's literally impossible for illegal immigrants to remain in the country more than a week. You've got to make it impossible to be here illegally. You have to have the tightest immigration system in the entire country, in the entire world, sorry. And you know what you're going to do if you do that? If you make America so tightly secured immigration-wise, you are going to be the envy of the world. People are going to legally immigrate here and come here in droves because people want to be in a country whose borders, language, and culture are respected and defended. That's what they want. Entry into America shouldn't be cheap. Entry into America should be incredibly difficult. You should have skills. We should let in the most highly skilled people because that's who we should draw. That's who we draw as America. We draw the most highly skilled, capable people we always have, and we always will. Hopefully, if we deal with this illegal immigration situation. So what's happening in Minnesota with the ICE riots, I think a lot of these riots, these rioters are organized and paid for. I don't think it's an organic movement. Of course it's not. It's obviously not an organic movement because guess what? We won the election. All 7 swing states voted for Trump. Trump won the popular vote. The American people want the immigrants gone. We want the ICE agents to be doing this. Sorry it gets violent. Don't stand in federal immigration enforcement's way. Don't stand in the way of federal law enforcement. If you do that, you're stupid. You are stupid. If you get killed, it's because you put yourself in that situation. ICE is not going around just murdering people. ICE is not going around just murdering people. That's not true. ICE is trying to deport and arrest very dangerous illegal immigrants first before they arrest all the other people that we all want gone and should be gone as well. But right now they're focusing on the most lethal, the most dangerous, the most murderous people and getting them out of the country. And if you put yourself in harm's way by obstructing that operation, you are liable to get killed. At the end of the day, that's how it works when you obstruct federal agents. That's how it works when you obstruct police officers. That's how it works. No one taught you that. No one taught you that. But the bottom line is that these people are almost paid to be killed. The Democratic Party or the globalists or whoever is really in charge of funding these operations are offering up these people as human sacrifices so that the ICE immigration enforcement can stop and the illegal immigrants that they're depending on for votes can remain in the country. And they're very happy to sacrifice Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Those are sacrifices as far as I'm concerned. They're human sacrifices on the altar of keeping these illegal immigrants in the country so that they can retain their votes, so that they can retain their electoral strategy. This is their strategy. Trump is upending their strategy because it's completely illegal, and that's why they hate him so much. We always think this immigration issue isn't that big of a deal. It's the biggest issue. It's the biggest thing. It's the number one thing right now. That's why it's being sorted out in year 1. That's why it's the top priority. And we don't want to be really dealing with this in year 2, in year 3, and especially in year 4. We want America to be well into the golden era by then. We want it to be the golden age of America. We can't have a golden age if there are illegal immigrants mocking the country and allowed to stay here. We can't, because no one respects America. And guess what? The most important thing, the citizens of America, American citizens, America itself, cannot respect itself. I can't respect America if it allows illegal immigration and law breaking to take place, lawlessness to take place, and nothing is done about it. At the bottom, that's the bottom line. We need to have we are a nation of laws. They need to be respected. I don't care what your sob story is. If you're breaking the law, you're breaking the law. That's justice. That's what we need to enforce. That's what we need to do. And, honestly, it should make every single American born here that has citizenship eternally grateful. This is the gratitude we should be having. When you see these people getting arrested for coming here illegally, it shows you how envious they are that America is not theirs. But America, if you're a citizen, is yours. You were born here. Be grateful. Don't take it for granted. The illegal immigrants that are coming here, by the way, working very hard, but still should be taken away. Still should be taken away because they're breaking the law. But they're working very hard. If they had a chance to be a legal citizen, they would all take it, and they would honor and love and respect the country and be grateful for the country, I'm sure. Many are. Most immigrants are. The illegals aren't probably very grateful for the country, but immigrants in general are. So people who are born here that get a free pass to be a citizen in the greatest country on earth, this should make you very grateful. This should make you very grateful when you see immigrants being arrested and taken out. Wow, that's amazing that I'm not at risk of that. What an amazing thing that ICE isn't after me. What an amazing thing that I get to live here free from that worry of being deported. It makes me incredibly grateful. That's all for the show today, everybody. But pray for what's happening in Minnesota. It's awful. We need to pray that ICE is able to execute its enforcement operations with maximum prejudice and swiftly and quickly and without loss of life. Because no one wants to see that. But remember, it's not the fault of ICE. It's the fault of the people funding and organizing these events and the people themselves that have put themselves in harm's way by obstructing ICE. That's your fault. It's forever going to be your fault. You were stupid and you paid for it with your life. And that's unfortunate. Have a great day, everyone. Pray for what's happening in Minnesota, and I'll see you here probably later this week.